Here I am again with my old man antics. So I would like to talk about those physical games from way back when, back in the old school days. Okay, so last night I was wrapping up playing Star Wars Jedi Survivor and having a good time. Review coming soon. Well, anyway, before I decided to retire and go upstairs to my beddings, I decided to just take a quick glance at the deal section on the PSN store. And to my surprise, I was able to find a golden find. I was able to find The Witcher 3 Complete Edition. And I had no idea that they actually added even more things from the TV show to this bundle. The bundle was under $13. I think it was like $12.99 or something. And I was blown away. So it spurred this idea of my next video topic, which I'm gonna jump into today. Buying games back then versus now. Yeah, let's talk about it. So I wanna talk about this shift that's completely changing games. And I don't know if the younger folks know just how big of a shift this is, especially as the years go on. It's actually getting worse, or some would say better, right? So back in the day, buying a game was a full event. I had to like save up money, like cutting grass, which I'm allergic to, just to save up to make the amount of funds that I needed to purchase the game, walk into GameStop back then, or before it was GameStop, it was Funkoland, right? It felt so special to just walk in and pick something up off the shelf and know that it was yours and you were gonna play it for the rest of the year because you knew that's all your ass was getting in terms of new video games, right? Today, all we have to do is just press a button and games will just start streaming instantly. And now, I am not arguing against this, but I am just saying things are being lost. Things that I was very fond of over the years. Things like game cases. Remember these bad boys with the information on the back? And yes, they still have physical media today in 2025, but it's very different. We're losing the tangibleness of gaming. I have collector's editions all around me as we speak. And I have retired collecting because I noticed the quality has waned and dipped. So back in the days, you used to get a game and you used to smell the plastic. Now this smells like old cardboard, but it will still work. You used to get things like maps. Remember maps? I'm not gonna open. Yeah, man. And we had physical media other than CDs. We had game carts, you know? And I can even take it back further, right? I can even take it back further and go back to the original Final Fantasy. Yes, I was able to acquire a copy much later in my life. I am from the age where we used to into the cartridges. That is being lost. So here's the thing, right? I understand that time must go on and things must change. That is a part of life. I mean, there were times when riding a donkey was the equivalent of playing a great game. That was the experience that people sought. Well, back in Jamaica, that's what we used to want to do. Push cat and ride donkey. Anyway, back to games. Back then, every game you bought felt personal. It felt like a personal endeavor that you can relate to with your friends, right? You had to choose carefully because games were expensive. And I know games are really expensive now, but I looked at a couple of inflation charts and it's not that far off from what it used to be. Just go back and do some research on the pricing of games. They used to be very expensive. Anyway, once you had the game, you're stuck with it. You know, it's kind of similar to how it is now with buying digital games on Sony PSN. You can't return it. It's not like Steam, right? But even if the game was janky, you learned to love it. You had to at least respect it because you just wasted your goddamn summer money into one title. So quick story. The first game my wife ever bought me, it was Demon Souls. I had no idea what I was in for. I had no idea the design direction or the design themes of FromSoft at the time, and I really hated it. But I couldn't show it to her because that was the first game that she ever bought me, right? So I was like, man, I'm not breaking this beautiful woman's heart, so I must endure Demon Souls. And it ended up being one of the most rewarding experiences of my life. Again, man, that physical side is being lost. I ended up buying Jedi Fallen Order. I bought Survivor 2. I tend to buy the physical and the digital. I know I'm crazy like that, but I think it's worth it because I still feel the physical side matters, man. It matters. And I know this is probably a plea to in the dark to the game devs to keep stuff like this around, but I think it's a far gone age. I remember being much older and finally being able to buy that copy of Final Fantasy VII. On my channel, I have the long story of how my friends and I acquired all 3 discs in Final Fantasy VII. And today, I am still a proud owner of this game. And yes, we have the deluxe editions. They're also beautiful. I have Remake and Rebirth deluxe edition. They're great. But as an artist, I look back and I realize just how box cover on games, some of my favorite games, have shaped how I deal with things like composition, how I deal with things like presenting a character as the main sauce, the main subject, someone or something as important. And I think I got that from looking at game cases and playing video games. I know it sounds odd, but we learn in weird ways. There's something tangible about the physical media, right? Like this gives it weight, right? Even before you press start or whatever menu button they have nowadays. There's just something, you know, you open up the case and you see the manual. It just feels good. And I felt like I was robbed yesterday purchasing The Witcher, and I have all 3 Witcher collector's editions and all that jazz. But there's just something, I felt like I got a bargain, but I missed out on something, which was weird. Today is very different. It's very different, and I am slowly getting used to the changes that are occurring, right? I am a Game Pass subscriber. I am a Premium Plus subscriber, and I even subscribe to GeForce Now every now and then. Streaming and subscriptions are everywhere. Even my damn printer has a subscription for ink that I never use, and I keep forgetting to cancel it. Games have become the Netflix, you know? I remember when the PS5 started, like this generation started, I remember having a debate, a very heated debate with my brother Blue about the direction of gaming. And I was trying to tell him, like, bro, this is gonna turn into the Netflix of gaming. We're gonna just stream games. Like, I don't even consider the games on the service a part of the actual backlog. My actual backlog is games I actually buy, right? But it does kind of, you know, linger in my ear a little bit, the fact that I'm paying for Game Pass and I'm not playing titles like Indiana Jones and Doom, right? Like, it's not a part of the backlog, but it's a part of that ephemeral backlog that constantly haunts me, right? So finding time to play games is probably just as hard as it used to be finding collector's editions, which is very sad. A plus side to this is that we can discover other genres that we might like Blueprints and Balatro, games I thought I would probably never like as a younger person. I was able to play those games early because of digital downloads and streaming services. But I still feel like there's still this problem. I feel like we don't connect to the games anymore. You know, there's like, and maybe a lot of people don't feel like this. Maybe it's just me and me going into the middle age, and every day I'm waking up and I'm seeing a new gray hair, right? I've checked my analytics and I've found that most of you guys and women, guys and gals, are the same age as I am, around that 30, 40s. Yeah, I did some research and I asked you guys to load up the comment section in my previous video, and you guys came through. So I know the majority, not all you guys, are around my age. So I would like for you to do that again this week. I want to know your sentiments as to what's being lost here, man. Like, what do you have on your shelf that is turning into a collector's edition as time goes on, or a collector's item as time goes on? There's one last thing I would like to touch on before I log off this camera. That is the concept of ownership, right? And I know some people are gonna say, but even if you have the disc nowadays, you have to download half the game. And this is unfortunately true. And some would even argue that this physical CD, this disc, is only a license to play the game. You don't technically own the game. And at that point, I will say the rebuttal of, yes, but if Armageddon starts and I still want to play my games and the internet is wiped out, I can still put this in my console and have a good time, right? So I feel like the argument kind of goes back and forth. But I am still heavily in favor of the physical game. But like I said again, I know as time goes on, I get old, my days are numbered. You know, your days are numbered too. So we might as well enjoy whatever medium or whatever media we have, because as we know, we can't take it with us once that time comes, right? I love physical games, man. And I just love games, period. And I like many others, and this is why a lot of gamers are not just gamers, right? They're like full-blown ass analysts of the gaming industry. You'll see it. You'll see someone quickly refer to how much a game sold versus not sold. Like they literally have personal stocks in the development company or publisher, right? Which I think is just a testament to how passionate people are. I don't like doing that because I don't equate how much a game sells to how much I enjoyed the game or whatever. And honestly, the older I get, the more I'm realizing the zeitgeist is, I'm not as hyped for it as I used to be. Like games just come out nowadays and I'm like, all right, I'll play it. Doom the Dark Ages looks sick. And I'm like, yeah, I'll play it in a few months. Like, you know, but at one point, I would have been head over heels. It's release day, people taking off work and stuff like that for a release, you know? But now because games are so abundant, I'm just kind of like, yeah, you could just throw it over there, you know? I think taking things for granted is a human curse. It's a curse. And for the things you love, like, you know, your family, your wife, your pets, yourself, you don't take it for granted. Don't take it for granted. And I feel like the gaming industry has taken the physicality of games, or they're definitely slowly removing it from the equation. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens in the future. If the developers or the publishing companies decide to go 100% digital, that at least they could release some kind of physical format, some special edition or something, just for those who want to collect. I am a retired collector. I have too many collector's editions, not enough space, right? So I am practicing the digital collecting, which is, I guess, was inevitable anyway. I think it's worse than my Steam days. Like I have 400 some odd games, probably even more on Steam, and I haven't touched my Steam library in 2 years. And then now my PS5 library is growing, my Xbox library is growing, and I'm taking a break from Nintendo because it's probably gonna be a while before I get a Switch 2, but I still got my regular Switch. But that's all I wanted to say about that. I'm still playing Star Wars, trying to make my way through, taking notes, doing my thing. So you can expect me to talk about that soon. And I have no idea what I'm playing after that. I think I'm gonna go off of vibes, like what I feel like playing. In the comments section, put what you're currently playing, even if you don't frequent this channel. I just would like to know, because I want to know if people are playing the latest and greatest, you know, like recent releases, or they're playing stuff from like 2 years ago like I am, right? But anyway, for those of you who have no idea who I am, my name is Jabulani Ori, and I love to talk about the visuals in games. If you would like to see my entire collection of artwork, my body of work, you can head over to my website, jahbu.com. I have all sorts of things that you can see over there. If you are on social media, even though I don't post as much as I used to because I'm working so hard on this channel, you can simply follow me at JAHBU_art, Jabu_art. Until next time, my wonderful, beautiful, powerful, amazing people. And I love the audience that's congregating around these videos. It's quite fascinating to see. I'm kind of a sucker for small channels because I'm a small channel. So to see the support that's coming through, it really waters my middle-aged eyes. I'm not an ageist. I love all ages, man. Humans are awesome in my opinion. Anyway, until next time, one love. Peace. 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 Stay in a good mood. Stay in a good mood.